Hi guys, Sogolela Matams, also known as Galopez Zeru Wanakashwapa Zambia, still exploring Uganda. Guys, what I'm seeing in Uganda is actually really shocking me. I didn't even know that such places existed. So today we are going to go inside the palace for the Buganda, and we have a tour guide who's going to be taking us around. Look at how gorgeous this palace looks like. And so far he has told me that the Buganda are the greatest in Uganda. People don't know about this palace much. I've never heard about it. So let's go and explore the Buganda palace. The palace, and our guide here will tell us the history of the palace and why this place is very, very important for the Buganda kingdom. How are you, sir? Introduce yourself.
Nice to meet you, madam.
Yes, same.
So my name is Nordin.
Okay.
Our beloved viewers, you're most welcome to Mengo Palace.
Okay.
And we are at the King's Palace, and this is Buganda Kingdom. People outside there, they don't know that there's a difference between mango, a fruit, and mango.
Okay.
So mango is a fruit, and mango, these are the grinding stones. And this is one of the origins of Kampala.
Okay.
So the grinding stones were used by them to grind herbs and milk.
Yes.
But now when you go in villages, you can see much of the grinding stones. So this hill, long time back in our kingdom, our kings used to prefer the top of the hills.
Oh, okay.
Such that in case of an invasion, the king can just be able to escape to the island.
All right.
And we also see that we have been with our kingdom Buganda. Buganda has lasted for a period of 800 years.
Oh, wow.
And it has been led by 36 kings.
Wow.
And our current king today, he marks to be the 36th king of Buganda. In our kingdom, a title given to a reigning king, we call him Kabaka.
Okay.
That's why some people on Google say that I'm going to Kabaka's palace. Kabaka means king.
All right. Okay.
And after him passing on, then the name changes to Sekabaka. So Sekabaka goes for the late king.
Oh, okay.
When he's alive, he's called Kabaka. After him passing on, then the name changes to Sekabaka.
Okay.
In our kingdom Buganda, still, we say that the first son of the king never become a king.
Oh.
He just becomes a family caretaker. That's why for us, either we call him Chiwewa or Junju.
Okay.
So he's the family caretaker.
The first son.
The first son.
Okay.
Another issue why he doesn't become a king was all about security purpose.
Okay.
That if the public knew that ever the first son will be the king, they might either plan to assassinate him, not for him to be the king. So they can later choose from other sons. They can choose from the second, from the third, from fourth, from any. And if it happens, when the king didn't produce any son, then they go to close brothers or cousins, but not the first son.
Not the first son.
Not the first son.
So if the king has 4 sons,
then
the second one will be the king.
No, they can
They
choose
just
from,
choose.
They just choose from
Oh,
them.
okay.
Yeah, so people from this kingdom, we are Baganda. A language you speak is Luganda.
Luganda, okay.
One person is a Moganda, and many they are called Baganda, and in a country called Uganda. So Buganda without me, we get Uganda.
Yes.
3 kings of Buganda, they start in the same palace. In Buganda, as I told you before, kings were free in starting up their own palaces.
Yes.
When you talk about Wamala, it was for Sona. When you talk about Kasui by Mutesa I, and this palace was established by Sekabaka Daniel Mwanga. So Mengo Palace was established in 1885 by Sekabaka Daniel Mwanga. We remember himself ascended to the throne in 1884. During his regime, that was in 1886 to 1888.
Yes.
We remember our king ordered the Baganda people to dig the biggest artificial lake. And that lake, it is just down there in between the Ring Road and Nabunya Road.
What's the lake called?
It is called the Kabaka's Lake or King's Lake.
Can we visit the place?
You can go there.
Okay.
So the purpose was to connect that lake to Lake Nalubale. they currently called Lake Victoria,
Yes.
of which Baganda people by that time they failed, because we remember in our kingdom Buganda we entered into what we call the religious wars, and that made that working complete.
Wow.
Still during his regime, King Daniel Mwanga, and Uganda received the British under Ibeko, that was the Imperial British East African Company.
Yes.
They were sent to prepare Uganda to be a British protectorate. They sent Captain Frederick Robert.
Okay.
And when they came here in Uganda, time came when these people, they could give our king orders. And himself was also giving orders. And Daniel ended up declaring a war against them. It's like someone to come in your house in Zambia, Zimbabwe.
Yes. Yeah.
Zambia, and start giving you orders, do this, do this.
No,
of course, you end up colliding.
Yeah.
So our king declared a war against the British, and this war, it lasted 40 weeks. King Daniel Mwanga, he was captured by the British, both with the Mokamakaba Lake of Bonyoro, and they exiled them to Seychelles Island. That's where our king passed away in 1973. In exile, and after a period of 7 years, the remains of King Daniel Mwanga were repatriated back home to Buganda, and he was taken to the Royal Kasui Tombs. So people outside there get to know that Kasui Tombs, the actors' graveyard, the actors' cemetery, burial ground for the kings of Buganda and also members from the royal family.
Yes.
So the remains of our king were brought back to Uganda, and he was taken to the Royal Kasui Tombs. Later, our king was succeeded by his son, because we have been following succession. That is father to son, father to son. And that was Sekabaka Daudi Chwa. You can call him King David.
King David.
King David, his father lived to him when he was 1 year. And since our king was 1 year and 3 days, they had to give him the caretakers that raised him until when he was fully coronated. He was given Zakaria Singli as his treasurer, Stanislas Mugwanya as his chief judge, and then Sir Kagwa as his prime minister. They raised the Sekabaka Daudi Chwa until the time when he was fully coronated. He marks to be our first king of Buganda to visit Europe countries, and being the king who permitted the Baganda girls to eat eggs and chicken.
Okay.
Do you know that in Buganda kingdom, girls were not allowed to eat eggs and chicken?
Why? Why weren't they
They
allowed?
thought that whenever a girl eats eggs and chicken, they will become infertile and couldn't be able to produce. So it is King Daniel, is King David, when he went in, after visiting Europe, he came back and permitted these Baganda girls to eat eggs and chicken.
Okay.
Still him, in 1922, our king toured around the Buckingham Palace for King George in England. And after visiting Buckingham, he came back and built this palace into an modern palace. So he shifted from the other traditional local palace made of reeds and trees and built the modern palace made of bricks and cement and iron sheets. And the palace took a period of 11 years. That was from
It took 11 years to build this.
From 1922 and completed in 1933.
Wow.
So in 1924, today in Uganda we have FUFA, but people, they don't know that FUFA was all along, all during back to the days of Sekabaka Daudi Chwa. Our king was the first FUFA president of Uganda.
What's FUFA?
That is Federation of Uganda Football Association.
Okay.
So he was a real soccer lover, our king.
Okay.
But in 1939, he passed away.
Okay.
He passed away because of diabetes. At the age of 43 years, and later he was taken to the Royal Kasui Tombs. And later his son took over, and that was Sekabaka Edward Walugembe Ruangula, Sir George William David Walugembe Frederick Mutesa too.
Wow, all those names.
So the Westerners could shorten his name from Frederick to King Freddy.
Oh, okay.
Freddy. But Marshall people in East Africa took the Uganda version as Mutesa too. Mutesa was born in 1924. He attended King's College, one of the prestigious schools in Uganda. Later, our king was taken to Makerere. He went to Makerere. That's where he did MVA, Medical Veterinary Agriculture, and finally in Cambridge. That's where he did political science. The time when our king was done with his studies, he joined the army for the Queen in England, and he reached to the rank of a grenadier. He was the only royal black grenadier among the Queen's soldiers. That's why when you go up there and see the Independence Monument, King Freddy was in a fully combat.
Oh, the Independence Monument.
Yeah.
Okay.
The time King Freddy came back home, much of these African countries were trying to struggle together on independences. He stood for Buganda and Uganda at large, and successfully Uganda gained her independence from Britain on 9th October 1962.
Okay, 2 years before Zambia.
King Freddy was appointed to be our first president of Uganda, and he was living here.
No.
He was a king and
the
at the same time a
president.
president.
Ah, okay.
So the time when our king was in office, we remember our king had a prime minister known as Dr. Paul Milton Obote.
Oh, yeah, Obote, yes.
You heard about him?
Yes.
So
yes.
Obote was from Lango, from north. Obote had a party called the UPC, Uganda People's Congress.
Yes.
And then KY Okawakaika was for the kings only. But time came when both of them had misunderstandings, and our king later, his prime minister betrayed him by sending Idi Amin. Idi Amin, by that time, people have to know this. Idi Amin, by that time, he was still the army commander. He was still in army, so they just used him to overthrow the king from power.
Really?
So Obote was the prime minister.
Yes.
It was Obote who wanted to take a cake from King Freddy.
Yeah, yeah.
And later he used Idi Amin to overthrow
take
the
it
king.
from the king. Wow.
So Obote sent Idi Amin and he attacked this place in 1966 when our king was in there. But since he was a soldier in this same palace, but since our king was a soldier, he was a mercenary, he tried to defend himself back against the soldiers of Idi Amin.
Yes.
And he was escorted by his two close captains. One was Captain Joshua Katende and Captain George Maro. They helped our king to escape from the palace. He jumped a perimeter wall, taken to Rubaga Cathedral, hid there for one night, and from there they took him to Burundi and finally in London. That's where King Freddy was later poisoned in 1969 and he passed away at the age of 45 years.
Wow.
So no one knows who poisoned King Freddy. But the investigation was done by Scotland Yard.
Yes.
You heard about it?
Yes.
In England.
Yeah.
Yes. And they said that they found a glass of wine in his room that was poisoned.
Wow.
So that's how King Freddy left us. And those are the three kings of Buganda that stayed here.
And they didn't last more than 40, 50 years.
40, 35, 40, around there.
Yeah.
So Daniel, David, and Freddy. So the time when King Freddy was away, Obote took power from King Freddy and he became the second president of Uganda. That was from 1966 to 1971. And what Obote did first, one, he abolished kingdoms in Uganda. That was in 1967. Obote turned this palace, Mengo Palace, into a military barracks. By that time,
place?
We shall be able to see the old buildings down there.
Wow, okay.
And by that time, this barracks was called Mariri Barracks. He even turned the other flank into a republic house and they were office for the army. We also remember, by that time, the remains of King Freddy, they didn't bring them back during the time of Obote. Yeah. They were later brought back in 1971 when Idi Amin took power from Obote. So, Buganda Kingdom spent 27 years without a king. Our king was already born, but he was in England studying.
Okay.
Yeah, so our current king today, he served as Sajja Kabaka Ronald Mwenda to be the second. And allow me to say to you that our king is 69 years young.
Wow, that's good.
Never go on.
Finally.
Young.
Yeah.
And the queen, she's 61 years.
Okay.
The king is having 5 children. 3 daughters and 2 sons. And his first son, Prince Chunju Crispian, is taken to be the family caretaker. Yes. So, if God wishes, now good enough we don't have the second son, that is Prince Richard Samakok. If God wishes, he'll be the successor.
Okay.
The king in 1993 he did part in doing restoration of kingdoms in Uganda. That's why when you go to the Bulange building up there, in the middle there is a king's monument. It was a gift from Professor Francis Nagend of Makerere University. He was thanking the king for doing restoration of kingdoms in Uganda at large.
Yes.
So in 1999, our king had his official wedding at St. Paul Namilembe Cathedral.
Okay.
That was in 1999. So our king in 1999, he had his official wedding at St. Paul Namilembe Cathedral. And the 3 kings of Buganda, all of them had their weddings at Namilembe.
Okay.
It is for the Anglicans. The first was Daudi Chwa in 1914, followed by King Freddy, followed by our king in 1999.
So the cathedral is still there? Is it in
up there? It is one of the original 7 hills of Kampala. You know, Originally, Kampala was made up of the original 7 hills, and this is one of them.
Okay.
Mengo, Lubaga, Nakasero, Kololo, Oli Kampala. So all those are among the original 7 hills of Kampala. So our king, we call him to be the lion. We call our king to be the lion, and we are calling him to be the lion. When you come in front of the king, you can't show your back. You can't turn back of the king. You just go backward until when you disappear. So respect and highness, like you. When you meet a lion like in the jungle like this, can you just say that's a lion, then you turn and go?
No.
You just go backward until when you disappear.
Yeah.
So as a respect and highness, people, we don't turn back of our king in Buganda. So our king is one of the oldest, most lasting monarchies we have ever had in the Buganda history. So both the king, hand in hand with the queen, and other people, us with the Baganda, our aim is taking Buganda kingdom to the top. That's the flag of Buganda kingdom, where symbolized that Buganda is being surrounded by water.
Sorry.
So this is what we call a royal mile.
Okay.
It's a 1 mile stretching from the king's palace to the Buganda parliament up. This royal mile has got 2 roundabouts. The first one, it is inside in the palace, and another one are the other 2 bronze gigantic spirit dams locally called Uganda. It is only the king of Uganda that go through those 2 roundabouts.
Really?
Up
No
to
one
the
is
Buganda
allowed?
parliament, only the king.
Oh.
Because in Buganda we say that our king is ever straight in all what he's doing. The king never go astray.
Yeah. Okay.
Other officials, they just turn around
Yes.
the roundabout. Our royal mile, it has got some sculptures. These are our clans. In Buganda, we don't have clans. Do you know a clan? A clan is a group of people
yes.
tracing descent from a common ancestor.
Yes.
So this clan, they're in form of plants like mushrooms, insects like grasshopper, fish like clownfish, birds like little egret, animals like elephant. In Buganda kingdom, people who do come from the same clan, these are taken to be brother and sister, meaning that they can't marry one another.
Oh, so anyone who is born as part of the Buganda
Has
cannot.
got a clan.
Yeah, it has got a
Yeah,
clan, so you
yeah.
cannot marry each from the
I
clan.
am from elephant.
Okay.
I can't marry any lady from elephant.
Elephant.
No matter not from the same mom, same clan. We are coming from that clan.
Yeah. Okay.
So if I'm from elephant, I get a lady from lungfish.
Yeah.
Then the children produced from the father's plantain go come to elephant clan.
Oh. Okay.
And the lady, she remains in her clan, lungfish.
Okay.
Yeah, and still, it is a taboo for someone to eat his or her clan. You can't eat your clan if you're from grasshopper clan. You can't eat grasshoppers.
Okay, you're not allowed to.
If he's from mushroom clan, he can't eat mushrooms. Then I'm
Okay.
lucky.
Okay, so what's your clan?
Elephant.
Elephant.
I don't eat.
Elephants. Okay.
Proceed.
So the lions. What's the
I told
significance?
you called the king to be the lion. That's why you
Yes.
see the scarf.
Okay. Wow. Whose car is that?
So the cards are for King Freddy.
Okay.
Yeah, our first president of Uganda. There are 3 types of cars. But when you see with your eyes, you think it is one.
Yeah.
But there are 3 cars. They were destroyed in the 1966 crisis.
Oh, 3 cars here.
Yeah, there are 3 cars. You can see
Different.
we separate them from the frame, from the guards. Yeah.
Wow. This was an
The big
expensive.
sharps, you know.
Yeah.
This is a Daimler.
Yeah.
Daimler from Germany. This is Cadillac from the United States of America.
Oh, you had a Cadillac as well.
Yeah, and lastly the recent ones was England.
Oh. Those ones.
So ARA
Yeah.
stands for Rolls Royce.
Rolls Royce.
Yeah, Daimler, Cadillac, and then Rolls Royce.
Rolls Royce. Okay.
So these were destroyed by British soldiers
The cars.
by that time. Yeah,
They.
because they were trying to frustrate King Freddy's legacy. So they destroyed the king's cars. But today, when you go to internet, go to Mr. Google, you know that these now today are some of the most expensive cars.
Yes.
Yeah, the Rolls Royce, the
Yeah,
Daimler, the
yeah.
Cadillac.
Okay.
So when we come back to history, when King Freddy was away, I told you about he took power from 66 to 71,
Yes.
and later Idi Amin. How did Idi Amin become a president?
Mm.
When Obote went for a Commonwealth meetings in Singapore,
Yes.
Idi Amin was told that Obote was planning to jail him for embezzling the army's funds.
Yes.
That annoyed Idi Amin,
Yes.
and later he declared himself a president. He went to
No.
Radio Uganda and declared himself a president.
Really?
So he was our first president of Uganda from 1971 to 1979.
Mm-hmm.
And the machine you see in the compound, it is for Idi Amin.
Oh,
That
okay.
is the Idi Amin's cannon. It was a gift from Colonel Muammar Gaddafi of Libya to Idi Amin. They gifted him in 1978
Yes.
because he was expecting a war from a neighboring country, that is Tanzania.
Wow.
After Idi Amin trying to capture the Kagera region of Tanzania. So the machine, as you can see, it is from the Soviet Union, Russia. So actually there are many cannons, but as to keep this to show what is to happen here.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Continue. So Idi Amin, his father was from Kakwa, mother Lugubala. Idi Amin was a man who didn't speak in Kiswahili. He was a man who did not. He was a man who boxed.
Yes.
In 1950 to 1960, he won a Uganda heavyweight championship in boxing for 10 years.
Oh, okay.
What made him famous is chasing away the Indians in Uganda, and he gave them 10 days. Those are 3 months
Yes.
to leave this country, Uganda.
Yeah.
And also other things that Idi Amin did, like intention people who used to oppose him. So the place behind me, that is the Idi Amin's torture chamber. So we don't have a signage here. It says that we'll come to Idi Amin's armory that was constructed by the Israelis in the early 1970s,
Yeah.
but later turned into a torture chamber where thousands of Ugandans lost their lives. That place now was built by Idi Amin, not to torture people.
Yeah.
He built that place as his store for his weapons,
Yeah.
guns and bombs, armory.
Yeah.
Idi Amin, he used the Israelis because by that time to him these were the best engineers in construction.
Yes.
That's why Idi Amin had them, and you can see the walls from 1970 up to now.
Mm.
They're still strong and standing.
Yes.
But later, when Idi Amin had that, he discovered he's having a lot of people who were opposing his government.
Yeah.
He turned that place into a torture chamber.
Oh.
By that time, Idi Amin, he used to order soldiers to capture people from Kampala. They used to tie them, they used to fold them, they used to blind them, put these people in the big army truck vehicles, and they could drive them around Kampala for several hours. And later bringing those people down in the torture chamber. These people, they had already lost hope. Soldiers by that time used to stand on the top of the chamber, and whoever could try to escape away, they could just shoot them, and these people, they could die there and then. Come on. So this place before, it had a strong metallic door, as you can see, and this was an electric wire. The switch was over there,
Yeah.
and this plug line, you see, it was a river of water.
Yeah.
These are 5 cells. We used to have a sliding door into
Yes.
the entrance, and this used to be the level of the truck tire.
Yeah.
Where both for the big army truck, someone could just get it from the vehicle to the cell.
Yeah.
So they could park like 40, 30 people per each cell.
Yes.
And these people, they could suffocate, they could die of hunger. It depended on how many people they could get or they could capture.
Yeah.
Later they jailed them down here. So time came to extract information from these people. They could order them to stand in the water. A soldier could connect electric wire. One could switch on and off, and water could shock these people. At times after killing them, they could separate their dead bodies, take them in one room.
Yeah.
Later they wait for the big army truck vehicle. It could reverse while sloping up to the other end. They pack them and they could dump these bodies somewhere. Come on, see these cells, they are the same sizes. There are 5 single cells, there are 5 cells.
Yes.
And they are the same sizes. No window, no ventilator.
Wow.
They used to bring everybody in this classroom. After they wait for the big army truck vehicle, they park these dead bodies, and this could be damned in the lakes, and this could be under the crocodiles. At times they could even dig a vehicle and they do mass graves, they bury these dead bodies together. So the reason as to why Buganda kept this place up to date is to show the entire world what is to happen here during the time of 1970s and 80s. Yeah, so we see that today people, they don't know, but Idi Amin, the way he was overthrown from power, it was surprising. It was all about after him trying to capture the region of Tanzania.
Yes.
The president of Tanzania, Julius Nyerere, came and invaded Kampala. And Idi Amin had to run away. He first flew to Libya in 1980, later shifted to Iraq, and finally settled in Saudi Arabia. That's why Idi Amin died in 2003 at the age of 78 years. And he was buried in the cemetery of Rosh in Jeddah. So the remains of Idi Amin, they're not in Uganda, they're in Saudi Arabia. No, he was a Muslim, and it was easier for him to settle. So people used to see him moving freely, going to supermarket, doing, So that was Idi Amin. So we don't have visitors coming. I went from here.
Yeah.
You saw it with Spider-Man. You can't just jump.
No, you can't.
And that was like a tunnel used by the soldiers.
Oh, another tunnel. Oh, let's see. So this was the tunnel by the soldiers. Oh.
How they shoot you?
Can't believe this happened in Uganda.
Okay, so this is African fig tree. In Uganda we call it motuba.
Okay.
In Kenya they call it mogomo. In English it's called fig tree. Its botanical name is called Ficus natalensis.
Okay.
So from this tree, this is where we get the bark off from. How do you get the bark off from the tree? We get a sharp panga, we cut up and down.
Yeah.
Later we put a straight line in it. Later we start peeling it off slowly by slowly, starting from up. But this must be done by an expert, not to damage the tree.
Yeah.
So like the way we did the other tree.
Yes, yeah.
So the tree doesn't die. This bark will regrow after a period of 8 months.
Okay.
Later that pretty part you take it inside for production.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yes.
So come and see.
How long has this tree been here? Many years?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can sit fast. She follows. You can sit fast.
Yeah, that's it. Huh?
Yeah.
Thank you.
So after peeling from the tree, that's the part we place it onto our wooden beam. And these are some of our material that we use in malleting. We normally start with the big wooden mallet with the spaced grooves, and later we end with the small one for finishing the small grooves.
Yeah.
So after peeling from the tree, we do pound it for 8 hours. The more you keep on pounding, the skin keeps on stretching, then adding 4 times from its original size, and later we end with the small one for finishing, which can make a hole. After sun drying, this is our outer material that you get after the whole process of malleting.
This feels good. Wow.
So this fabric today we do export it to Germany, and they use them in making the seat covers in Mercedes-Benz. So this is our outer material that you get after the whole process of malleting. This backcloth today we do export it to Germany, and they use them in making the seat covers in Mercedes-Benz.
Wow.
When you burn this, the smoke from it repels mosquitoes.
Really?
When kings pass away in Buganda, their bodies are wrapped in the backcloth. It embalms the body. It mummifies the body. This material was also declared by the World UNESCO Organization as an intangible masterpiece World Heritage in 2005.
Yeah.
This backcloth you see, today it used to act as dowry by those days, by the time, and also our clothes. So first we decided to promote them by painting on them. These paintings are made by us guides here. And we do sell our paintings to our visitors at a really, really small negotiable prices. Most painters, they paint on canvas. Yeah. But Marcia, we paint on the backcloth, and at times it takes some time to paint on the backcloth. You have to be a good painter. An expert.
So how much are the paintings?